5 undecided players in the portal. And one of these would have been Grayson McCall, but he took his name out today. Austin Awney would not have been on this list, but he also took his name out today. So some guys are seeing what's out there and deciding that, the grass is not always greener on the other side.
And Awney, again, is going to the NFL.
Yeah.
The grass is greener.
The grass, yeah. But
maybe.
Number 5, Marshawn Lloyd, running back from South Carolina, is a very, very solid player. Kind of surprised to see this one just based on how South Carolina finished, but they also lost their tight end, Jaheim Bell, and a couple other players. So part of this, I do think, is under Shane Beamer, just some bending of the roster and guys who weren't recruited by him who are going to other places. But if you need a running back, Marshawn Lloyd is probably the one you want to get right now. And a really solid player, got some good yardage on the wall. Again, he's at South Carolina, so his name's going to fall into the background a little bit, and that's kind of the case for most of the guys on this list here. But in my opinion, look, other people who are probably far more experts than I am on this will have lists where he might be this high, but I'm giving you my top 5 right now. But I would want, if I need a running back, Marshawn Lloyd's the guy I'm going after right now.
Yeah, he's a bowling ball, right? 5'9", 200 plus. Had a good little run there with South Carolina. I mean, based on what I saw following this, and he's been in the portal now for a while, but I mean, I feel like they thought he had some sort of NIL deal lined up, because why else would he be jumping in there? And yet he's still out there. So that's very curious. And I've seen, how. I don't mean to disparage in any way, but you know how fans are, just as far as accusations and things like that go. And so, I saw a lot of that NIL and supposedly feeling like he might have had deals already locked up and clearly does not. So, I don't know how all that played into it, but I thought he was a good player. And so, if you're in need of a running back, I'm not sure where he is exactly in the, the various site rankings and how that goes. I know a lot of the top 20 is pretty much all decided, if not even, top 50 at this point. But he is one of the better players remaining, to your point. And, very curious that he hadn't found a spot yet.
Yeah, number 4, Virginia quarterback Brennan Armstrong. A lot of people have him rated over the number 1 guy on this list, and to me, I'm just not going to do that based on how much that guy's won, and you'll see who that is in a second. But Brennan Armstrong's still out there for a team that needs a quarterback. I don't know what kind of offense he's looking for or what kind of situation he's looking for, but the big spots are drying up now, so it's going out to, also, by the way, Sam Hartman is not on this list because, again, I believe he's going to Notre Dame. I don't want to put him on the list. Like, he could go to Notre Dame any minute now. I think that's kind of a done deal. But
speaking of that, you don't mind, Notre Dame was very interested in Tanner Mordecai.
They've seemingly been interested in every quarterback basically available, but in particular, Mordecai and a couple of others.
And Tyler Buckner just had his best game of the season. I mean, he didn't play much, but he was fantastic in their bowl game. So they're trying to improve their situation in a hurry at Notre Dame. But Brennan Armstrong, he was the guy initially I thought would go to Notre Dame. I kind of felt that, but that's, I don't think, in the wind right now. So I'm wondering where he goes, because he won a little bit at Virginia. He put up some good numbers. Obviously, they've had a coaching change, and this year, notwithstanding, it's just been a terrible year for the entire university. But I do think this is a guy who can help a team. I just don't know at this point who that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. I mean, I think Baylor has a quarterback need, but maybe not as clearly as some others who clearly no, we want a starting quarterback. Theirs is a bit more unique because they have to, I guess, be careful with Chapin. And, even though they've been so careful, he's their only quarterback on scholarship at this point. But regardless, I mean, I don't know really what the market looks like for Brennan Armstrong. And, it's interesting because when the portal initially opened and he started looking at these quarterbacks and ranking these quarterbacks, he was one of those guys that was right there at the very top. Now, granted, some names entered after he did, and so that obviously changed the deck chairs a little bit. But Spencer Sanders is still out there as well.
We'll get to him in a minute.
Okay, that's something I saw on him too. But I'm kind of surprised that Brennan Armstrong's still out there. I wasn't nearly as high on him as some others, but still surprising, no doubt.
Yeah. Number 3, and this is one that's under the radar a little bit, Gunnar Britton. He's an offensive lineman from Western Kentucky. He's from Conway, Arkansas. And so, a lot of thought is that he's going to jump into the SEC, but a really good tackle who can help an offensive line needy team, but has been out there in the portal for a little bit and hasn't gotten to that spot yet. So this is a guy you probably haven't heard of unless you're a Western Kentucky fan or a fan of that league. But Gunnar Britton, a really good player from that conference that's in the portal.
Surprised that Tech hadn't gone and scooped him up like they did with a couple of other Western Kentucky offensive linemen last year. But, to their credit, they lost Zach Kitley, and they just kept kind of zooming on along. And they're definitely producing some real threats all across offense, all across the offense. But, don't know much about Gunnar Britton other than just very experienced, very well-respected as a player and his contributions and all of that. But, yeah, you would think a big old offensive lineman would have people lined up at the door given the need for it. But, unsure about exactly why he's still out there, other than maybe hopefully for him, he's got so many offers, he's just having to sort through all of them. That would be the nice problem to have, right? Even though I think everybody's kind of wanting to find a landing spot at this point. And, by the way, I guess it was Pete Thamel saw a tweet that apparently he was talking about Brennan Armstrong to NC State as a real possibility because of the Robert and I connection there. So that's something to monitor that Thamel, I guess, put out there a while ago.
Staying in the same conference.
That would make a lot of sense. Number 2, Rondell Bothroyd from Wake Forest. And this is going to be a rough week for Wake Forest. They're going to lose their quarterback and maybe – I mean, obviously their greatest quarterback that's ever played there. And they're going to lose their best defender and a captain right now. And it's mostly because of the same reason, is that these guys are at the end of their careers. Their NFL careers are a little suspect, but they're really good college players that can help your team, but they need to capitalize on NIL. Dave Clawson's been really cool about it. He's been, look, our NIL isn't what some of these other places are going to be, and these guys have given all they want to us, and we can't begrudge them that. He was especially that way about Sam Hartman, but this is a guy who can help your team on defense, a defensive end, really good against the run, and on a defense that wasn't all that great, but he's one of their better defenders. So going to be a rough week for Wake Forest, but they can grab him.
136 tackles, 30.5 tackles for losses, and 16.5 sacks in his career. That's still really good. I mean, obviously that wasn't 1 year, but forced 4 fumbles. I mean, this guy can play.
Yeah,
absolutely
That's
play.
why he's looking for greener pastures, literally greener. And I guess just trying to take advantage of that NIL. And I know they're losing a lot on the D line, so maybe he's taking that to account as well. I don't know, but those are some great digits. In a lot of different categories. So player that I'm sure a lot of people are enticed by.
And number 1, Spencer Sanders. To me, I put him the number 1 player in the portal. I've seen, maybe it's a bias from being covering the league so much in the Big 12, but this guy's has led his team to a conference title game. Obviously, came right down to as close as you can get to winning a conference title game and not. But he's been really good, and he's had his ups and downs, and obviously injuries play a part of that. But in the right system with a fresh approach, and we talked about it earlier with Mike Gundy, something weird's going on in Stillwater right now, and that's why all these players might be transferring. I don't know, that's just speculation to me, but Spencer Sanders with the right coach, and I mean, he could go from being a guy who, we'll take a flyer on him because he's a superb athlete in the NFL, to somebody that you actually say, no, we kind of want Spencer Sanders here to see what he can do in the NFL draft. But I don't know. Again, I don't know where that's going to be right now.
I would love to know why there aren't more teams on him. I mean, specifically, I would love to hear the reason why he's not being more heavily pursued. I don't, for 1 second, pretend to, say that he's a perfect quarterback by any means. He's definitely got some flaws in his game, like turning the ball over too much. But, I mean, I've been looking at these bowl games. I'm not seeing, like, stellar quarterback play across the country. I don't know why he's not being viewed as, like, an upgrade for a number of teams out there. I don't get it, man. Is he hurt? Like, I mean, what's the deal? I really don't understand how he's still out there, and somebody's not just dying to scoop him up that's got, an average at best or maybe slightly above average quarterback. He's above average to me. I'd take him in Waco right now. I tell you that right now. I don't know about you guys, but I'd have him come in there and create some competition. But, maybe he returns to Oklahoma State when all is said and done. Maybe that's just, the journey that he's on, and him and Gundy run it back one more time. That's certainly still possible with him in the portal. But, I'm very curious to know what it is about his game exactly that people aren't in love with.
Yeah, I wish I had time to text Robert Allen to get whatever response he gives to me, who covers Oklahoma State, I'll share it. I'll try to get that for tomorrow because, there's something weird there, or just something that the timing, whatever. maybe a team that's still playing, although there are not many left. Utah and Penn State, 14 apiece, third quarter at the Rose Bowl.